Once upon a time, in a neighborhood far, far away, there was a little girl who had just moved into a brand new house in a brand new town. Today she would start her first day of school with children she had never met. And as the little girl took her first step out of her house on her way to the big yellow school bus filled with new faces, she stopped to notice a big, beautiful red rose that stood right outside her house. The little girl paused to look at the red rose. She got up close to it and said, "Oh, red rose, you are so beautiful. You are so bright and red and tall. Will you be my best friend?" There was a little pause, and then, "Oh, why, yes," the red rose exclaimed. "I am so happy you stopped by to say hello. I have been waiting a long time for someone to stop and talk to me. I started to give up hope." "Oh, well," said the little girl, "I will talk to you. I look forward to seeing you each day. I have to go to school right now, but I will come see you when I get home. Goodbye, Red Rose," said the little girl. "Goodbye, little girl," said the red rose. When the little girl hopped off the last step of the school bus, she nearly fell over with excitement to see her new friend, the red rose. The red rose was standing up taller and prouder than the little girl had remembered. The red rose was so happy to see the little girl. The next day, the little girl made sure to get up early so she could stop and talk with the red rose before she had to go to school. The two followed this routine every day, morning and afternoon. One day, when the little girl got home from school, the red rose had a surprise. The red rose said, "Little girl, you have been so kind to me and have been such a good friend, and you have brought me such happiness. If you had one wish that I could grant you, one thing that you wanted the very most in the whole world, what would you wish?" "Oh," said the little girl with excitement, "I don't know what I would wish for." The little girl thought and thought about the possible wishes she could ask for. "I have always wanted a shiny green bicycle," said the little girl, "with big rubber tires and a little basket on the handlebars. And I've always wanted to find my favorite blue bouncy ball I lost years ago," said the little girl. There were a lot of little things that the little girl could think of, but not one thing stuck out for her to wish for right then. The red rose laughed at the little girl's excitement. The red rose told the little girl to come back tomorrow so she could think about the one wish that she wanted the most that the red rose could grant her. The next day it was pouring rain. The little girl had put on her big orange raincoat, and her mother carried an umbrella over the two of them all the way to the school bus. The rain was coming down so hard that the little girl didn't get a chance to turn around and say goodbye to the red rose. It was still raining hard as the little girl came home from school that afternoon. She jumped off the last step on the school bus and hurried up to the garden where the red rose stood. When the little girl got up to the place where the red rose should have been standing tall, the red rose was slumped over, drooping its head with its leaves lying in the dirt. It had rained so long and so hard that the ground was filled with water, and there was a huge puddle around the flower. The little girl cried out, Red Rose, please don't go. You are my only friend. You have made me so happy. You are all that I have in this new big place. Please, please don't leave me all alone now." But the red rose was slumped over, motionless. The little girl thought about the day before and the silly wishes that she had thought of, the brand new bike, the old blue ball, and the third wish she couldn't think of. At that very moment, the little girl yelled out, Red Rose, I know my wish. I know the one wish that I would wish the most in the whole wide world. I wish that you would come back. I wish that the rain would stop and the puddle would dry up and that you would stand up tall and full of life always." Right then, it looked like the red rose started to move. The clouds began to part. The sun came out, and a gentle, soft breeze passed by. The red rose's bright green leaves began to lift up, and the red blossom began to rise. The stem started to stiffen, and the rose seemed to be pulling its parts together again. The little girl was filled with excitement and happiness. The red rose began to speak. "Little girl, you are a very brave and honest child. You had the choice of 1,001 wishes, but you chose to waste your wish on me. You are a caring and loving little girl, and you have made me proud and tall once again." "Oh, I did not waste my wish," said the little girl. "Bringing you back was the one thing I wanted the most. You are my best friend, and you mean the most to me. Thank you for granting my wish. You will stand tall and strong always." And the red rose smiled as big as the sun in the sky and grew to be as tall and as proud when the little girl and the red rose had first met. The red rose and the little girl continued to share adventures, excitement, and friendship for a long time. And that's the story of the red rose. The end.